What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So it's a big one. It's Liverpool, and that's our next game in the Premier League. But of course, I'm expecting an extremely difficult game. It's not going to be easy. Unai Emery certainly needs to get his tactics correct on the day. Of course, we do have a suspension in the form of Guendouzi, but I don't believe that he would have been starting the game. But of course, we do know that Liverpool are joint top with Man City, and a damning stat really just to kick off this preview is Arsenal have only won twice against Liverpool in the league, and that's since 2013, so in 5 years. The last time we'd won, of course, prior to that would have been back in 2015, and before that would have been in 2013. So the wins are far and few in between. A lot of draws in there, of course, but we've not been getting wins against them, and I'm sure it's now time that we can certainly grab a win. We're obviously high in confidence, having lost in a number of games, as we all know, and essentially Liverpool are the same. They've not lost in a number of games, winning a lot of their games as well, and that finds them top of the league, joint top with Man City. So of course we know last season they ended up being Champions League finalists. Of course that didn't go their way, but it's an extremely nervy game. If we can get a draw from this game, I'd be happy with a point personally. Of course, it means that we lose ground on people around us and teams around us. Of course, Tottenham and Bournemouth really. But if we can secure a draw from them, I'd be very, very happy with that particular result, purely because, one, we haven't won against them in a very, very long time in the league. Two, they are one of the top teams in the country at the moment, hands down. So if we can perform to a standard where we can obtain a draw and maybe pinch the 3 points, I do believe we do have the firepower to actually pinch the 3 points up top. My only concerns will be with the defence at the back, but apart from that, a draw would be a good result for me going forward. So let's just talk about my predicted starting 11. Hopefully, Bernd Lerner will be reinstated as a starting keeper. So as you may all know, against the Blackpool game, Petr Cech looked out of sorts. He made a terrible mistake. Of course, fortunately, that goal didn't count. It was an offside goal. At right back, I'm just hoping Hector Bellerin will be ready to go. If we do have Lichtsteiner playing at right back, he may certainly find himself slightly a bit exposed with Liverpool's attacking players, such as Mane, Firmino and Salah. They'll pretty much have a party with him. I don't think he will provide that cover that we need, in particular the pace. I don't think he'll be able to cope with the pace of those three attacking players. In the centre of defence, I'm just assuming Rob Holding will be coming back into the team, as well as Mustafi, who's played a number of games really, but he needs to sort of iron out those tiny little mistakes. At left back, again, this is a tricky situation. I'm hoping both our left backs will be fit. Either one of them or both. Ideally, I'd like to see Nacho Monreal come back in. Of course, he brings a wealth of experience into the team, and I don't want to see Xhaka playing at left back anymore. We saw against Crystal Palace, even though he scored, as well as the fact that he gave away a penalty, it was a huge tall order for him. Essentially ended up giving away a penalty, and he struggled with the pace and trickery of Zaha. Even worse if he's going to be facing Salah, but we'll see how it pans out on the day. In the middle of the park, I would personally like to see Xhaka and Torreira. That duo and that combination had found a great balance up until Xhaka started playing at left back, and I do believe moving forward that would be our two midfielders. So Torreira will be very, very vital against Liverpool. He needs to bring his A game. Of course, he's performed magnificently so far this season, but I do believe against Liverpool he will need to step it up a little bit further in order for us to deal with their team, in particular intercepting those balls in the middle of the park, even though they like to play out wide, Liverpool do, to their wide players, but he will be very, very vital moving forward. Up top, I'm sure Mesut Ozil will be returning to this team. Lacazette as well will be returning to the team, I'm sure. Most likely Aubameyang will start with Lacazette on the day, which will obviously increase our chances of scoring goals. So of course, as mentioned, as I said, a draw will be very, very sufficient enough for me to actually get away from this game. This will be the next huge test that we face since the Unai Emery era has been up and running. Of course, early on, the message had not gone through to the players when we faced Chelsea and Man City. So those were very, very difficult games to start off with. Of course, with Chelsea, I feel like we could have come away with something, maybe a draw. But this is the first huge test that we face. And from now onwards, the games are going to get even harder and harder going into the Christmas period. It's not going to be an easy time in terms of the footballing fixtures that we do have. And the more competitions that we stay in, including the Carabao Cup, the more games that we will play. Of course, the quarter-final against Tottenham is scheduled for the week commencing the 17th. So that's yet another game that we do need to play. But the games are going to get more difficult, and we do need to dig in deep and actually still obtain the results that we've been obtaining. We've been on a fantastic run so far, unbeaten in about 13, I think, and essentially that needs to continue moving forward. If we can get past Liverpool, then I do believe that we stand a huge chance of returning to the Champions League through the Premier League, not winning the other competition, which is the Europa League. But again, this is going to be an extremely difficult game. I don't have any team news at the time of recording this video on Liverpool, but I'm hoping they'll pick up one or two good injuries for us, namely Salah, maybe Firmino. But of course, Liverpool are a team in fine form at the moment, and it's extremely scary, but hopefully we can get something out of this game. As mentioned at the start of the video, Unai Emery will need to get his tactics right. I don't believe that we should sit back against Liverpool. It will be suicidal if we do sit back and maybe he plays 3 defensive midfielders in there. It'd be very suicidal in order for us to do so, but hopefully we can take the game to them, attack and hopefully our defence will stand strong. And that's my only concern, as mentioned as well at the start of the video. But as usual, guys, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again, guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.